Imagine this. A high-powered attorney,
Right, yeah.
deep in the world of corporate law, everything meticulous, ordered, and then, bam, one violent encounter on the street just shatters his whole idea of justice.
Yeah, it makes you think, what if upholding the law sometimes, maybe, means breaking it?
Exactly. And that's the raw, really compelling question right at the heart of John Grisham's The Street Lawyer.
A classic legal thriller.
Totally.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to peel back the layers of this book. We want to understand its critique of social injustice, how it explores, personal transformation.
And how Grisham uses this story as such a powerful vehicle for talking about change.
Our mission here is really to guide you through the storytelling, the themes Grisham weaves together. We want to offer a clear path to understanding why this novel is just so compelling.
And, this kind of insightful exploration, it's exactly what you can expect from Mindful Moments.
Right. That's our YouTube channel. It offers AI book analysis, really designed to inspire reflection and rational thought. Check it out.
So, getting into The Street Lawyer, what's fascinating is how Grisham just throws the protagonist, Michael Brock, right into chaos. It completely flips his life upside down.
He starts off so comfortable, doesn't he? Successful guy at this big firm, Drake and Sweeney.
Oh, yeah, living the dream, big salary, fancy car, corner office, the whole 9 yards. His world is, perfectly ordered, perfectly legal on the surface.
Until it isn't. That violent encounter you mentioned
Yeah.
with a homeless man. Right there in his own firm's office building, it changes everything.
It really does. It's not just a plot device, is it?
No, not at all. This single terrifying event, this desperate homeless man taking hostages, including Michael, it forces Michael to confront a reality he's, frankly, ignored.
A world he probably drove past every day without really seeing.
Precisely. And suddenly the foundations of his comfortable, privileged life just crumble. He walks out of that hostage situation. Well, he's a different person. Profoundly changed.
Absolutely. And that incident, it just catapults him into this completely different world. Public interest law, advocating for the homeless. It's such a stark contrast.
So he finds out the man who held them hostage, Mr., I think his name was?
Mr., yeah. He died in the standoff. Michael learns he was part of this group of homeless people who were illegally evicted from an old warehouse.
And the punchline is, the eviction was handled by a real estate company represented by his own firm, Drake and Sweeney.
The irony. It's brutal.
So Michael, he's still reeling from the whole hostage thing, and he starts digging. He needs to understand why. Why was Mr. so desperate?
And what he finds is just chilling, a cover-up by his own colleagues, his partner.
They knew the eviction was illegal, that it basically led to people dying from exposure out on the streets, and his firm just looked the other way, or worse.
That's the breaking point, isn't it? He just can't square the law he practiced, the wealth he accumulated, with this horrific injustice he's uncovered within his own workplace.
He can't. So he quits. Walks away from the six-figure salary, the partnership track, even leaves his wife, who doesn't understand his sudden change. He just leaves it all behind.
And almost literally lands on the street, doesn't he? Trying to find the survivors of that eviction. He gets drawn to the street lawyers.
This small, gritty, underfunded public interest firm run by Mordecai Green.
Right. And that's where the real transformation kicks in. He's not just helping people from a distance anymore. He's down there in the trenches, trading his expensive suits for, regular clothes, his fancy office for this cramped, chaotic space.
And working alongside people like Megan and Ruby at the clinic, he starts seeing the reality, the unvarnished truth.
He hears the stories. Veterans, people with mental illness, families just pushed out by development, people who've completely fallen through the cracks.
It's a universe away from the abstract corporate deals he used to handle. He sees the human faces behind the statistics, behind the poverty, the injustice, and it just fuels this anger, this new mission.
Which, of course, pits him directly against Drake and Sweeney, his old firm.
He needs proof, right, evidence of their wrongdoing. But it's all buried in their files, locked down tight.
And here's that core moral dilemma you mentioned earlier. Michael, the lawyer sworn to uphold the law, starts thinking maybe he has to break the law to get justice.
Which he does. He ends up stealing confidential files from his old firm. Highly illegal. Highly risky.
Yeah, to prove they were responsible for the deaths of those homeless people.
And then the chase is really on. His former partners, especially this ruthless guy, Dex Shiflett, they come after him. Hard.
They want the files back, obviously, but they also want to destroy Michael, discredit him, maybe disbar him.
So the book transforms into this real cat-and-mouse thriller. Michael, now fighting for the homeless, is up against the very powerful legal machine he used to be a part of.
It's such a compelling journey. From that place of, let's be honest, privileged indifference to becoming this passionate advocate, all driven by this quest for justice.
It's clear Grisham had a purpose here, beyond just writing a thriller.
Oh, definitely. He wanted to expose the harsh realities of homelessness, absolutely, and critique the ethical blind spots in big corporate law firms.
But also it feels like he wanted to spark something in the reader. Empathy, maybe? A sense of moral responsibility?
Right, while still delivering that page-turning, suspenseful story Grisham is known for.
So how does he make it all work? How does he get us, the readers, to buy into Michael's pretty radical transformation and these, frankly, illegal choices?
Well, a big part is Grisham himself, isn't it? His background.
The fact that he was a lawyer.
Exactly. That brings instant credibility. He knows the legal world, the jargon, the power dynamics. It makes Michael's journey, both leaving corporate law and navigating street law, feel authentic, believable.
You trust that he understands the system he's critiquing, and that trust makes the arguments for justice feel stronger, more urgent.
The setting helps too. Washington, D.C. in 1998 when the book came out.
It wasn't just a random backdrop.
No, it was very specific. Homelessness was incredibly visible, a major social and political issue in D.C. and other cities around that time. So setting it there makes his critique feel very grounded, very immediate. He's pointing fingers at the legal profession's role in these real-world systemic problems.
And who's he aiming this at? Obviously fans of legal thrillers.
Sure, that's his base, but I think it's broader. Anyone interested in social justice issues, maybe even people within the legal field itself.
In Grisham's style, it's so accessible, isn't it? Fast-paced. That pulls in a wider audience, too. People looking for entertainment, but who maybe get a dose of substance along the way.
He definitely wants you, the reader, to feel what Michael's feeling, the shock, the anger, the commitment.
He really leans into the emotional side, the pathos.
He does, through these vivid descriptions of life on the streets, the personal stories of loss, but also resilience. You really feel for these characters.
And Michael's internal struggle. You're right there with him. Plus, those key scenes like the initial hostage crisis or finding out about the deaths from the eviction. They're designed to provoke outrage, compassion.
You feel his frustration mounting, his resolve hardening.
But it's not just emotion driving the story. There's a logical appeal too, the logos.
Right. The whole plot is structured around this legal investigation. Michael gathering evidence, finding witnesses, piecing together the cover-up. It feels procedural in a way.
That logical structure helps justify his actions, doesn't it? Even the controversial ones, like stealing the files. You understand his reasoning, why he felt it was the only way to expose this massive wrongdoing.
It makes his breaking the law seem, well, almost logical within the context of the extreme injustice he's fighting.
Grisham's writing style itself is interesting. How he handles the language.
It's very direct, very accessible. He uses legal terms, sure, but explains them or uses them in context, so you're never really lost.
And the pacing. It's noticeable. Short, punchy sentences when things get tense, like during the hostage scene or the chase.
Yeah, and then longer, more reflective sentences when Michael is wrestling with his conscience, thinking about his life, his choices. The prose itself mirrors his emotional state. It's quite skillful.
He also uses contrast brilliantly. That juxtaposition you mentioned earlier.
Oh, constantly. The opulent offices of Drake and Sweeney versus the chaotic, bare-bones street law clinic. The tailored suits versus worn clothes. The comfortable lives versus desperate survival.
It's not subtle, but it's incredibly effective at highlighting the social inequities Grisham wants us to confront.
And that recurring theme or motif of redemption, it runs throughout Michael's journey. It offers a glimmer of hope, maybe not just for him, but for the possibility of change.
Then there's the central irony we talked about. A lawyer breaking the law for justice.
It's the core tension, really. It forces you to question what justice actually means. If the system itself protects the powerful and neglects the vulnerable, can true justice sometimes only be found outside the established rules?
That's the provocative question Grisham leaves you with. What does that say about our legal system? About our own moral obligations?
Yeah, it definitely lingers.
So looking back, do you think Grisham achieves his purpose with this book?
I think he does, absolutely. He raises significant awareness about homelessness, delivers a really sharp critique of ethical failures within corporate law.
And he does it in a way that keeps you hooked. The emotional connection, the suspense, they keep you reading, but also thinking. reflecting on these big social justice issues.
The major themes are just so powerful. Social justice, obviously, Michael's personal redemption arc, the whole question of legal ethics, profit versus principle.
And the importance of empathy, of human connection, seeing the person behind the label.
And that stark examination of power and privilege, the gap between the haves and have-nots, it's all woven together really effectively.
And it feels like he handles the complexity well. It's not just goodies versus baddies.
No, he avoids making it too simple. He acknowledges the difficulties, the nuances of homelessness, the limitations of just throwing legal solutions at deep social problems. Michael's journey isn't easy, and the other characters, like Mordecai Green,
The pragmatic, seen-it-all head of the clinic.
right, or Michael's ex-wife Megan, who represents that corporate worldview he left behind, or Ruby, the resilient woman at the shelter, they all add layers, embody different aspects of the struggle.
That first-person perspective is key too, isn't it? Being inside Michael's head.
Definitely. It deepens the immersion, makes his transformation feel personal, relatable even. And the imagery Grisham uses, contrasting the gleaming law offices with the gritty reality of the streets, it really paints a picture.
There were a couple of quotes you mentioned that really stick out.
Yeah, that line from Mr., the hostage taker, "You make a lot of money, yet you're too greedy to hand me some change on the sidewalk." It just cuts right to the core of that disconnect.
And Michael's own realization later on. I'm a human first, then a lawyer. It's possible to be both. That sums up his whole transformation, finding his humanity again.
It really does.
So why does the street lawyer still matter today? Why should you care about this book?
Well, I think it's just a fantastic example of how fiction can be more than just entertainment. It can be a powerful social critique.
It engages you, makes you think critically about justice, about privilege, about your own responsibilities, maybe.
Exactly. And this kind of analysis, digging into the themes and the rhetoric, that's what we aim for with Mindful Moments on YouTube.
Right, and across all our podcasts, we love taking complex books and breaking them down into these hopefully digestible and thought-provoking discussions.
So that final question Grisham leaves us with, if true justice sometimes means crossing an ethical line, what does that really reveal?
About the foundations of our legal system, and maybe about our own moral compass within it.
It's definitely something to mull over.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us for this look into the street lawyer. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe so you don't miss our next analysis.
And please share this discussion with friends or colleagues who might find it interesting or useful.
You can find a link to purchase The Street Lawyer in our show notes if you want to read or reread it yourself.